An accused mass murderer is representing himself in court and is turning the trial into a complete circus. Darrell Brooks is accused of committing last year's Waukesha, Wisconsin Christmas parade attack that killed 6 and injured over 60. Brooks has made a mockery of the trial, explosive outbursts, daily sparring sessions with the judge, and desperate attempts for gotcha moments with witnesses. It got so heated today between him and the judge that he got tossed from the courtroom. Now, before I play some of the sound, just think about how maddening this must be for the victims who survived and for the family members of those who died. Remember, this is November 21st, 2021. Police say Brooks broke through barricades, intentionally drove his SUV through the annual Christmas parade. 3 of the 6 killed were members of the Milwaukee Dancing Grannies, the local dance troupe made up of grandmothers. The 40-year-old faces 76 criminal charges, including 6 counts of first-degree intentional homicide, and he says he is not guilty. Brooks has thrown out some wild conspiracies as to why, most notably that he's a sovereign citizen, not under the jurisdiction of the government, and therefore the law doesn't apply to him. As part of that argument, he repeatedly objects to being called by his name in court. The trial basically went off the rails from the beginning when Brooks took off his shirt in a courtroom temper tantrum, and things have continued to spiral downward. A full-blown battle today between Brooks and the judge, Jennifer Darrow. It started this morning.
Why do you have to roll your eyes at me? Let's start the morning off on a good note, sir.
I didn't roll my eyes at you, so I don't think it's fair that you should say I rolled my eyes at you.
I saw you roll your eyes at me. I'm not
I didn't roll my eyes at you, so don't do that.
Well, Mr. Brooks, I'd appreciate a little bit more respect. These
I would
rulings,
too, Your Honor.
let me finish, because now you're interrupting me.
Not long after, another blowout that led to Brooks getting thrown out of the courtroom.
Mr. Brooks, you are advised to stop with the commentary.
No, I'm going to say what I want.
You called this witness. I'm going to take a break right now and excuse the jury and this witness. All right.
What you're doing is judicial misconduct. Judicial misconduct. But you don't want the jury to hear the truth. That's not fair to the jury. They have a right to hear everything. I'm not finna sit here and let you fix the trial because you don't want to tell the truth to the jury.
Mr. Brooks, please stop.
No, ain't no please.
You are
nothing.
being disruptive. You are
please,
being disrespectful.
You always
the
going to
witness
find some reason to say somebody's being disruptive because they want the truth to be out there. Man, quit it. You're supposed to be the
Mr.
judge.
Brooks, I'm advising you that continued interruptions will result in you forfeiting your right to be present in this courtroom.
Under what law and fact can you do that?
Illinois versus Allen.
Okay,
sir.
but the fourth option that you made up, that's not even in the law.
Mr.
Because
Brooks,
you can't do that.
I need to make a
By law,
ruling.
you can't do that.
I need to make
And you
a
know you
finding.
can't.
All right, I'm going to excuse everyone. Mr. Brooks is being removed from the courtroom.
I've watched and covered these sovereign citizens who engage in all sorts of gobbledygook, where they throw out all sorts of fake statutes and fake references to the Constitution, etc. It's infuriating, but particularly in a case like this. This is not a traffic violation. Brooks was moved to another courtroom and had to appear via Zoom until he was let out of his timeout.
I'm glad you're back here, sir.
Are you, Your Honor?
I am, sir, actually.
I'm not too sure. Especially when I bring up subject matter jurisdiction.
I've ruled on that, sir.
I know, but it hasn't been proven for the record.
If you disagree with my ruling, sir, you can file an appeal.
Witness after witness has been able to directly identify Brooks as the perpetrator, including Sean Backler, who found Brooks trespassing on his property after the attack. Here was an exchange where Brooks looked to trip up Backler on his own words.
So it'd be fair to say that you weren't sure.
I was positive it was you.
Who is you?
You. I'm looking at you.
As witnesses continued to identify Brooks, he continued to object to being referred to by his given name.
So you looked eye to eye with the person who hit your daughter?
I did.
Did you see him in the courtroom today?
I do.
Can you point him out by where he's seated and what he's wearing?
He's seated
I ask
in...
that Mr. Brooks take off his face mask.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks.
He is seated at the table, located over here. He's got a gray suit on, a blue shirt, and a tie.
Let the record reflect that witness has identified the defendant, Darrell Brooks.
Objection, I do not consent to being called that name, nor do I know any individual by that name, Your Honor.
This is just banana stuff. Brooks has referred to himself by his name, including when he was arrested, something the jury saw in the courtroom. Here's that body cam footage.
Hands up! Put your hands where I can see them! Put your hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Do it now! Hey! Taking one of the hospitals for a plan here. What did I do? Lay on your stomach! Robert, are you on the What is your name? Brooks.
Oh, wait! So far, we've only seen the prosecution present its case, and we could be in for much more chaos once Brooks has the opportunity to present his side, which is expected to begin later this week. Joining us now, Jesse Weber, attorney and host for the Law and Crime Network, which has been airing the entire trial and which I founded. Jesse, good to see you. So obviously the trial's insane. What kind of defense? I mean, is he going to actually call witnesses?
He does. He has a whole list of witnesses that he wants to call, including his ex-girlfriend, who he allegedly got into a fight with right before this happened. You know, prosecutors are saying because of that fight, it's why he went in his car and drove through a parade of holidaygoers. This is what's so fascinating about his defense, right? He, aside from the fact that he fired his counsel, he hasn't presented an opening statement. So we're all trying to guess, what is his defense, other than the court doesn't have jurisdiction over him? And he's gone all over the place. It's A, you can't really properly identify who the driver of the car is. B, maybe whoever the driver of the car wasn't intentionally trying to drive over people. And then he's been seeming to suggest, well, maybe there was some sort of brake mechanic, some faulty error in the car, and the driver lost control of the car. But wouldn't the only person that knows that be the driver of the car? So it's a little all over the place. And I tell you, Dan, I'm kind of torn with it because on one hand, this is such a serious case. It's a tragedy. But it's must-watch television because it's so unpredictable. Not only having a defendant who represents himself, but to have someone who's so rude and so makes the courtroom, the things he says to the judge, I've never seen anything like it.
Well, and it must be that must make it even more infuriating for the victims' families. Let me play another piece of sound of an interchange between the judge, this is number one, and the defendant/attorney.
One of my roles is to be the umpire.
Then you got to be fair, Your Honor. You're a public servant.
I am fair, and I'm
No,
going
you're
to follow
not.
the
You're not
rules
being
of
fair.
evidence.
Your
sir.
Honor,
that
this is
doesn't
why I
mean
say that.
unfettered questioning
This is
of
why I say that.
witnesses that are not relevant or that call for hearsay or for a variety of other reasons that are speculative. There's a whole host of reasons in the rules of evidence, sir, that require me to make those determinations.
You're not being fair.
I respect
You're not
that
being
you
fair,
might
though.
not think it's always fair, but
It's
I
not.
disagree with the characterization. I think it has more to do with your lack of understanding of the rules of evidence and the rules of procedure, which you knowingly and freely and voluntarily and deliberately made a choice to represent yourself.
Jesse, you've been watching the whole trial. A lot of people who've just watched these clips are going to say, why isn't the judge being tougher on him? Why isn't the judge just saying to him, you're in contempt of court, can't represent yourself, done?
Because my opinion is this is a judge who understands the importance of this case, and the last thing that she wants to do, I think we all know he's about to be convicted, is to create an issue for an appeal. She is giving him every opportunity, so much leeway, more leeway than if she would give a defense attorney, so that when he is convicted, and he's going to say the whole court was a sham, she was unfair, he's really not going to have any grounds. I mean, she could hold him in contempt, but she doesn't want to do that. She doesn't want to delay this court. She doesn't want to delay this trial. She's giving him every opportunity, everything he asked for to represent himself so that when he is convicted, it's going to stand up because it's an important case.
And he's in jail during the trial, right?
He is, and he says, you know, I don't have an opportunity to call witnesses, and that's not true. He says, you never handed me an order about the subject matter. And she did.
Why did he take off his shirt, by the way?
You're asking me. That's a question I can't answer. He got angry that he was kicked out of court. Now, he actually came back to court, and he said, I apologize for my outburst. This is not how my mother raised me. And then what? 30 seconds later, he ends up doing similar things.
Well, not how my mother raised me. I think his mother probably can't be particularly pleased with what she's raised, regardless.
Yeah.
Jesse Weber, thank you. Appreciate it.
Good to see you.
And that does it for us tonight. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.